Hi, everyone. My name is Diana. I am a creative storyteller, and I am here with the talented Sophie Millard. She is a Haitian-American creative, entrepreneur, writer, comm specialist who's passionate about storytelling, inspiration, and the arts. From publishing her debut book, 21 Days of Splendor, to inspire your spirit, to founding Just So Splendid Creations. Sophie has built a life around creativity, empowerment, and purpose. We're diving into her journey today, from her Haitian roots and early love for writing to her work in acting, entrepreneurship, and everything in between. Hello, Queen. Hello, Sophie.
Hi.
I am grateful to have you here today. Did you want to add anything to your introduction that I may have missed?
No, I think that about sums it up. I feel like every time I hear all the stuff that I do, I'm just like, girl, you do too much. But that's who I am at the core, a Gemini. So
A
we do
Gemini.
everything.
A Gemini. And for the people watching, I want y'all to know that we are both Haitian American. We are both up north, and we are both Geminis. So loved her from the very beginning. So I'm very honored and privileged to interview this talented woman today, and we will jump right in. So you grew up as the youngest of seven kids to Haitian parents. What was that like, and how did your upbringing shape who you are today?
Ooh, I love that question. Okay, so growing up, the seventh child was, I feel like to me sometimes it felt a little bit isolating because all of my siblings are like 5+ years older than me. But so I was like always around older people, and I found like even now that I'm older, I still have a lot of friends who are older than me. They're always like, if not 2 or 3 more years older than me, like I'm always like the younger friend in a way. But yeah, so it was very interesting dynamic just having siblings who are like way older, and sometimes they might want to play with me, but other times they just like, like go to the corner, like leave us alone. But we still got along pretty well. But I would find myself hanging out a lot with my parents because it was just like, okay, well, if they're not gonna hang out with me, I gotta hang out with somebody. So I ended up being very close to my father and my mother as well. And I feel like that kind of did help to shape me as a creative because on one end, my mom, she's also a creative. Like she would always do like flowers, and she was basically the cake lady at church who made the cakes for the weddings and decorations for people and things of that nature. So she always kind of had her like creative side hustle always going on. And then for my dad, he loves music, and so he kind of shaped me to be a music lover as well. Which is why I like love 70s music, disco, Haitian, old Haitian music. Like I'm talking old Haitian music. I'll randomly want to listen to it. But yeah, so that kind of just shaped who I am as a person, where it's just like I'm around older people all the time. So it just made me kind of gravitate towards being, I guess, kind of like an old soul myself. But yeah, so it was an interesting dynamic growing up with that many people in the house, though, especially like growing up in like smaller homes. So it's like we had to always try to make space and like make things work. And I feel like as I'm talking about it right now, it's making me think, oh, maybe that's why I'm so good at being able to adapt to new settings and just being able to just kind of organize myself in a way where it's like getting where you fit in, because that's kind of always been my upbringing, where it's just like, you're the new kid in town or the new kid in the family. So it's like you got to just kind of find and make your own space. So that's just who I am as a person. I always make my own space.
That was a great response. Also, now we have something else in common. I'm the youngest out of four.
Really? Look at us. Young, the youngest, Gemini's, Haitian girl. It's just, we have
Yeah.
everything.
So you were meant for me and I was meant for you. Love that for us.
I love
Um,
it.
so you mentioned creativity and just values overall being important in your household. How did those things influence the way that you express yourself now through your work?
Sure. So I think that kind of like the same thing I said before, where it's like because I always hung around my parents, it kind of informed my love for just kind of like the 70s and the 80s and just like older music. And also with like Haitian culture, because one thing I used to do with some of my creative content online is I would do a lot of like facts on Haitian history. I used to have a Haitian based podcast. Well, I had
Take us through
two.
that
I
journey. Take
say it
us through
again.
the journey of creativity.
Oh
So
my gosh.
parents helped. When was like your first moment of like, I want to do this for me? Because it seems like they were a heavy influence and probably inspired that as well.
I would say the funny part about it though is like because my parents were just like super hard workers and they had like multiple jobs at a time, I didn't always look to creativity kind of as a thing that I could do and make money from it.
Mm.
Because I just would see them kind of have like their regular jobs and stuff. So that was never really something that I kind of like, not that I aspired to it, but I kind of looked outside of my family for that, like on TV and things of that nature. But yeah, so sorry, can you repeat the question?
So it sounds like your parents like heavily influenced that, like
Mhm.
that creates creative spark in you.
Yes.
When did that journey kind of start for yourself?
Oh, okay. Ooh, I'm like, wait, yeah, I gotta take it way back.
Mhm.
Okay, so I always tell people this. It was around when I was like 8 years old when I started to write. Because another thing that I would do at home is watch a lot of soap operas with my siblings. Again, youngest. So it's like, why am I watching soap operas at like 5 years old? Insane. But one of the first ones I watched was Passions, which that show was insane. There were so many things going on, like it got like a little magical and all types of stuff. But the point is, watching those soap operas kind of informed my creativity because I was like, oh, look at these worlds that these people create, and like you have this family who has tension with this family, and like I just love seeing those dynamics. So that was something that made me feel like, oh, maybe writing is something I could do. So I had like this little journal we got from a yard sale, and I always remember it was like this little burgundy mead journal, and I would just like create kind of like my own little fake soap operas. And I would just like write them out, and it was just a space for me to just kind of have fun. And so I guess that was kind of like the first time I was like, oh, I kind of want to do this writing thing. It's fun. And then growing up, back in the 90s, early 2000s, we all listened to the radio. That was like a big thing. So I would just listen to the radio a lot. And one of the shows that I loved to listen to was Delilah, which, funny enough, I met her a few years ago. I love Delilah. But
Wow.
anyways, the point is like just hearing like the radio stations, the different programs that would come on, like all of these different things that were in my home, I was constantly kind of influenced by. And I was like, man, like how would it be if I could be on a radio station or if I can like write for TV, and like all these things slowly but surely started to come together. And before I even started kind of like writing my little fake soap operas or whatever, the first thing I remember actually writing was a song, which is something I don't talk about a lot to people because I'm like, I don't necessarily consider myself a songwriter. Like I can write it. I still have like my own little like song journal. But the first thing I wrote was a song. It was based off of kind of like those radio stations I would listen to, where it's like, like these love ballads from the 80s and 90s and stuff. So I was so used to hearing about it, and then on soap opera seeing like all this romance and stuff. So I wrote this like little romantic song. It's just like, girl, you're in elementary. What do you know about romance? But yeah, so that's kind of like all of the different little pieces that came together for me and informed my creativity at a young age, where it's like I wanted to write music, I wanted to write for TV, and then eventually it grew into wanting to act on those soap operas. So I always had kind of this desire to be on TV because of those shows I watched. I was like, man, this is like, it looks like so much fun and like a good way to kind of like get your, I guess like your emotions out, or whatever. And so that was kind of a big thing for me. And I know there's more I could say, but I'm gonna stop there and let you ask the next question.
No answer. I'm flowing with you. I'm pivoting
Okay,
as you pivot.
cool.
So you said a little bit earlier, see, I'm going off script now. So you said a little bit earlier that your parents as Haitian people are very hardworking. Although they were creative, it sounds like you were kind of going towards them using creativity more as a hobby versus it being like a career.
Yeah.
So when you were exploring that creativity, and I guess you had that aha moment, like maybe I do want to do this for a living, or maybe you started investing in your creativity a little bit more. Did your Haitian parents support that?
Um, yeah, they actually did.
Wow.
Which I can't remember if as a kid I really said much about it to them, but I do know like first of all, with my mom being like the cake lady, like I said, and the decoration lady, she would actually take us like during the weekends when I swear it felt like there was a wedding every weekend that we were at. But anyways, so she would take us with her. We would help out, we were voluntold to help her
Yep.
out. So we were helping decorate the churches, the what is it, the reception hall for people's weddings, help her with the cake, setting things up. So that was kind of informed my creativity. So basically what I'm saying is that I feel like in a way she was kind of nurturing that in me without really noticing, even though my creativity is different from hers because I don't tend to really work with my hands like that. I can and I have done stuff like that. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. And then as far as my dad goes, I wouldn't really necessarily consider him like super creative, like love for music, love for Haitian culture. That's kind of where he influenced me a lot. But I remember back in the day, he also he had like a good camera where he did like to take pictures. So I think there was kind of like that creative side of him. But it wasn't always like expressed all the time. But we did have like a lot of pictures growing up, and I think that was because of him liking to take pictures. But yeah, so that was kind of like their, I guess, influence. But as far as when I finally, I guess, like spoke to them about what I wanted to do, I think I was like a bit older, maybe like in my early 20s, maybe even my teens or whatever. But I just remember them always kind of being like, oh yeah, like, if that's what you love, like do it. Like when I spoke about wanting to be an actor, I remember my dad being very supportive of that. But for him, I guess, I don't know, because Haitians are so funny. I remember him saying, like, oh, I should be an anchor on the news. I'm like, I don't want to tell the news. Like, that's
Yeah,
not the
just
type
a
of
random
TV.
career that
Yeah,
seems like it makes money.
exactly. He was like, oh, well, okay, you want to be on TV? Here's the news is always on. You're going to make money. I'm just like, I don't want to be no anchor. But I just still remember him randomly saying that, and I thought it was funny. But yeah, and then as far as writing, I feel like because I just was always doing it, it's something that my mom knew that, I'm a good writer. So she would actually have me help her out with like creating websites for her business when I was younger. I think like middle school, I made my first website, which when I think about it, I'm like, that's kind of crazy
Yeah,
because
that
the website builders back then were not that
yeah,
good.
they were not user friendly, first of all. If you didn't
Exactly.
know back end stuff, codes, whatever, yeah, you're
Exactly.
hooked.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure out, I'm like, I don't even remember what platform I use. I just remember her saying, like, hey, I need help with this. And then next, I made a website, put her pictures up there, like with her cakes and stuff, flowers, etc.
That's
And then I remember, say it again.
I said that's awesome.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, so those were some of the things that kind of like, I guess, helped to inform my creativity. And then high school, now that I'm thinking about it, because I do resumes. That's like on
Mhm.
one of my many side hustles. And I remember in high school, I think it was like my dad who asked me to redo his resume. And I'm just like, I don't know how to do a resume. Like, what? But I was in a program in high school that kind of did help us learn how to do that. So I guess that kind of did help me learn as I went. But just because they knew I was a good writer, I found like a lot of times people in my family would just ask me to do these things where they're like, oh, well, you're a good writer, so you can do this too. And I'm just like, that's not how it works. But
That's the same, but go off.
but it, right. But apparently they're right. So a lot of things that they were just having me do or like volunteering me to do actually ended up being part of things that I do now on my daily with my job, which that the more I think about it, I'm like, that's just kind of crazy how it works. But yeah.
Thank you for that answer. And also, like to the people listening, like many foreign people, our careers are either to be a doctor, a lawyer, a nurse, teacher, something. So you are very rare, Sophie. Like the fact that you had creative parents and, they allowed you to like explore and support in their own kind of way is amazing because that was not my reality. I don't know how I'm creative. I'm the only creative in my family. Like l'école, l'église, lakai. That's it. So that's amazing that you were able, translate, school, work, home.
It be
So
that's it.
that's it. So it's amazing that you've had, support to kind of do your thing. So kudos to you. All right. So, like you said earlier, you've pretty much done it all. How do you juggle wearing so many creative hats while still staying connected to your purpose?
I don't. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about this video that I saw where I forget who the person was, but Jennifer Hudson was interviewing him. And she's like, how do you stay so focused and balanced? She's like, I don't. I'm tired all the time. That's literally how I feel. But yeah, I really don't know. I guess I feel like what I do is I kind of like take breaks in between. Like I'll try this and then I'll try that. Which now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm like, I do kind of want to solidify myself in like one thing for a long time and then start working on other things again, which I'm starting to gravitate towards focusing more on my acting because I feel like I've done the digital space thing. Period. I've done like YouTube and TikTok and I've had fun and all this stuff. But it's just like I kind of want to like really hone in on that craft because it's something that I've always wanted to do since I was younger. So I really want to get more into that and just become better at it and really work on that craft because I want to be a serious actor. I don't want to just be like, and I'm not gonna shade any like streaming platforms, but I don't want to be people be like, oh, she just be on Tubi, that's it. But no shade to Tubi because I love Tubi. Okay, no shade.
Have some,
They
and
do
it's
have some gems.
and it's for the free.
Exactly, for the free for the people, and I rock with it. I don't mind if I have to be on there. But I do really want to be, a thespian, as they say, like someone who is really part of the theater community. Like that's what I've always wanted to do. So yeah,
That's
did I
amazing.
did I
And
answer the full question?
Yes, you did, and you were very honest about it. I think as one Geminis,
Mm,
um,
let's start
we
there.
are very talented in many areas. We are the master of none, as they say.
Mm,
But I will challenge that because I did see a TikTok recently, and this girl or woman was like, you deserve to give everything that you're interested in a chance. Like God gave you so many gifts. And she was talking about how like she was working on maybe like this game or platform or something that required a lot of money. And so she
mhm,
pivoted with the idea and just started using Substack to kind
mhm.
of develop and share the creativity. And like the feedback that she got from it was phenomenal. And she
Wow.
like, and she had also mentioned like people have been telling her, well, you're doing this, you're doing that. Like, what are you doing here, essentially?
Yeah.
And she was like, I want to share this thing. This
Hmm.
is what's on my heart. This is one of the many things that I've been working on. Let me share it. And it like
Right.
went viral. It went viral. And
Yeah.
you
I love
never
that.
know what people need from you. You never
Yeah.
know what content is missing or what information is missing. So, yes, definitely be the actress that you want to be, but God gave you all those gifts because you can handle it.
Yeah. That's
So,
real. Ooh, I need that message. Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
girl, you know me, mental health advocate,
Oh, I know. Oh, I
um,
know.
don't let that suddenly become a weakness because it's not.
Right.
Because some
Right.
people don't know what their one purpose may be. So the fact
Mhm.
that you have so many things to pick from,
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's a blessing. So
Oh no, it definitely is. It definitely is a blessing. And just as you were talking, it just made me think about how throughout the years I've changed my bio on Instagram and TikTok, and well, Twitter's just a throwaway account for me at this point. I'm
they
just
throw away.
talking, you know,
Mhm.
just talking to talk. But in my bio now, I just have a creative girl sharing her world or sharing her creative world. Just a girl sharing her creative world is my
Love
new
that.
bio. And I just feel like that just sums up who I am because it's just like I do everything. And on my Instagram, in the bio is a song by Masego called "I Do Everything" because it's like literally, and he's also a Gemini. Shout out to Gemini's. Uh,
Oh, nice. We're creative. So okay.
exactly. But yeah, so it's like I literally just do everything because it's fun, it's enjoyable. These are the things that I grew up around, and I think also just as a '90s baby slash early 2000s kid, the people that we saw on TV always did everything. Like one of my favorite people in the industry is Jamie Foxx, like hands down.
Me too.
Like
Okay.
literally, now it's being connected.
I
But
love
yeah,
Jamie Foxx down, Jamie Foxx show.
good. Yes, I recently rewatched the whole series and I was just like just amazed because like the singing, the acting, dancing, etc. Like everything, like those are the people that we
On the
grew up on.
background levels, the music.
Yes, it's like insane. So like he's one of those people who I look up to. But even taking it a step further into like the people who came before him, like if we look at people like what is her name, Felicia Rashad and her sister Debbie Allen, like dance, act, sing, like all of the things, theater. It's just like these people always were so dynamic, and it's like I think that's why for me I'm like I could never just be an actor. I could just never be just a writer. Like just that, like no, like I'm just everything. I'm every woman. You know what I mean?
Period.
But like
Period.
seriously, it's just like I can't just be relegated to one thing. That's just not what my spirit calls to. So, yeah.
You are amazing. Just know that. Just keep going, girl.
Thank you, sister girl. You too.
Are watching. Even if they want to say it or not, the people are watching.
Do not get me started on that. Mm.
I
I've been
guess
having this
this is the platform.
Listen, I've been having a conversation with two of my good friends, one of my mutuals on TikTok, who's also a Gemini. It's just all the Gemini energy. But yeah, so we've been talking about that. Another one of my close friends, like people just will be watching our stuff and they just won't connect or interact. And these are people who followed us for years, people we've known or gone to school with or whatever else. And it's just like, well, no shade, but you can go. Like, you don't got to follow me. Like, why are you here? It's,
Literally.
you're clogging up the algorithm. Please go.
Okay. And even with like analytics getting better and more detailed every day, it's like I see you guys viewing. I may not know, I
Thank
may not
you.
see or know you by name, but like, how am I getting a couple hundred views and these are my likes?
Like,
And
what's
then And then to see, so this has been a thing that's been happening for me in 2025. People will literally come up to me, tell me how much
Mhm.
they like my content, how it helps them get through their week, how they look forward to it every week. Never liked, never
Wow.
shared.
It's
Have
so weird. And I don't know, maybe it's from maybe because I've always been such a supportive person. Like, and people always joke with me on TikTok. They're like, we always see you in the comments. And I'm like, yes, that's where
yeah,
I live. I
yeah.
love to support. I love to make people feel seen because I know what it feels like to not be seen or validated. So if I see you doing something, maybe you don't have that many likes, or maybe you do, I'm still gonna say something like, oh, this is cute. Oh, you did a great job. Keep going. Like something to support people. You literally never know. You could be that rainbow in that person's day. It's just like say something, especially if I know you. It's just like, what? Why are you being weird?
It'll be weird.
Don't be weird. Don't make it weird.
Yeah, but it's okay
Yeah,
because those who support, those who are genuinely living this life to be living it to the fullest and see other people win, like
yeah,
we are flowers. That's why
yeah. We see
I
each other.
series or this show, if you will, because I'm like, okay, um, people deserve to know like the work that you're doing every day truly does matter. And it shouldn't be when you're on the level of like Issa Rae,
Yeah,
Harry, Oprah, you get all these awards for someone to be like, you're so great. No, you're actually
right,
great today. Right.
right.
So
Yeah. Ooh, girl, you better say that. You
I'm
better
up
say
to
that.
something. I'm up to something.
Yes,
So
you are.
awesome. So we're being Geminis. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna come back,
Bring it with
I'm
it.
break down with your book. I hope I'm saying it right. 21 Days of Splendor.
Mhm. Yep, that's right.
Okay. Feels like it is a personal and uplifting project. What do you
Mhm.
hope people feel or take away when they read it?
So just feeling inspired, feeling empowered. In that book, I wrote a lot of like personal experiences. I didn't get super deep, but I still kind of walk people through how I built my confidence. There's one chapter where I talk about the first time that I got to do public speaking in high school, where I was on stage for the first time. This was ninth grade. Mind you, I had just moved back to Jersey. I was living in Florida for most of my life when I was younger, but Jersey girl through and through. But anyways, so I had came back, and this was actually when Obama had won the first time, and they had us write these speeches about the election, or I don't remember the full thing, but essentially I had to write a speech about Obama, and it won first place, and I was like, look at me winning
Okay.
stuff, period. And so they were like, okay, you guys are gonna have to read your speech on stage, and I said, what? No thanks. But I had no choice. So I went ahead and I read that speech on stage. Again, new kid in town, not knowing how to fit in yet. And I'm like doing this thing. But yeah, so that was just one of the first moments that I was public speaking and like sharing my talent in that way. So that's, like I said, that's one thing that's in the book. So essentially, I just hope that anyone who reads it can just feel inspired daily and just learn to affirm themselves, and just whatever it is you want to do, whether you're creative or not, just know that you are here for a purpose, and that you can't no one can take that away from you. So just make it do what it do. Yeah.
I love that. I'm here for it. Now we're going to pivot again because you do so many great things. Let's talk more about your acting. How did that part of your creative journey begin? I think you kind of tapped into it a little earlier. And what drew you to step in front of the camera? If you can go into more detail about that.
Absolutely. Actually, one thing I wanted to mention about my background again that you mentioned earlier about how you are the only creative in your family. As I was thinking about it, I was like, I'm talking about my parents, but I have creatives all throughout my sibling line. Like my oldest brother, he is an artist. Like he draws down. Like I honestly feel like his artwork should be everywhere. He is amazing. So I grew up always seeing him like sketching and like making his own like little mini comic books and things of that nature. So I would say he might be one of the first people who I actually like saw tangibly creating his art. So that I want to say is definitely huge. He's been a huge inspiration. And then my sister that's under him, she used to sing growing up in the church, and like she would do her own stuff. So, and then the one after that, like everyone has their own thing. Like a lot of them draw or just, it's just insane the more I think about it. And then the sister right before me, she does fashion design and like does prom dresses and can like create a gown for people in like 2 days. Like it's kind
Okay,
of
mom
crazy.
part two.
Say it again.
Said mom part two.
No, right, exactly. So like literally everyone in my family has some sort of creativity. And then my maternal grandmother, who's the only grandparent that I knew growing up, she used to have like her own kind of like commerce business, or you know how Haitians say commerce back
Yeah.
in the day. So she was always telling us how she would like travel to Jamaica or Cuba, Puerto Rico to like sell some of her stuff. She would sell shoes and like clothing and things of that nature. So I feel like it's just there's just a spirit within my family of like creativity and like making it out, like doing your own thing, using your hands, using your mind to, you know, take care of yourself essentially, and not just working. Of course, obviously, we work to get our money, but like we have that creative side of us too. Sorry, is
Yes.
that? Can you hear that truck outside? Can you hear
No.
that? Okay, I'm like, I'm in the middle of an interview and y'all just riding
Yeah.
by.
Same thing happened to me a little earlier. I'm like, why are we yelling? Like,
Like, come on, be
inside.
respectful.
This
Be
is a
respectful.
communal space. Anyway,
Exactly. But yeah,
um,
so essentially having all that creativity in my family is part of what has kind of pushed me towards where I am now. But as far as acting, um, I want to say, like I mentioned earlier, with watching soap operas growing up, I remember just feeling like that would be a good way for me to kind of get my emotions out in a way. And I used watching soap operas as an escape in a way. So I feel like wanting to be an actor was also part of that, kind of wanting to find somewhere where I can just kind of step outside of myself and do something different. So that's part of what made me want to act. And then I would do like little like church plays, like nothing super fancy. I don't think I ever did a school play. Did I do a school play? I don't think I
everything
ever did.
happens in the church. It's either church or
Listen,
us for the
listen.
90s babies, for the 2000 babies, for the millennials. Um,
Yes.
everything starts at school and church.
School and church, absolutely. Because I was in a choir in fifth grade, and I was in a choir in church at some point. It was I have such an interest. The more I think about it, I'm just like, wow, I've just been really doing stuff since I was however old. Like
Shit.
we had like a family church we used to go to, and there was this one lady who she had her own church with her husband, and so it was a different church from where my family actually attended. Tell me why I used to go to a separate church as a kid to go sing in their choir, and I would be going to their church by myself.
Wow.
They would come pick me up, and like I was part of their church choir, and like my
He said,
actual say it again.
he said that we want her.
Like, why am I going to another church outside of my family church? But my mom knew them and everything. It was like nothing crazy. But I was just like, why am I going to a holy like listen, I it was an interesting time. But yeah, so the point is, did some church plays, things of that nature. At some point in my life, I was living in Georgia as well as a kid.
Okay.
And during that time, I was a praise dancer for that church that we attended. So it's just I've always found a way to be on a stage in one way or the other, whether it's like, you know, sharing my gifts to help people get closer to God or like just inspiring them. But everything has always been like, I just want to make people feel good, to feel seen, valued, heard. All of those things is kind of what my creativity is based on, essentially.
Yeah, I feel like we're just the same person on a different coin.
Hey,
What year
twin.
were you born?
I was born in '94.
Okay, so I'm a year older than you. Okay, that's probably the only major difference.
Yeah,
And we are switching gears again. Can
mhm,
you tell me more about Just So Splendid? I see that it is centered around creativity and empowerment.
mhm.
Like you kind of said in general where your creativity stems from, but can you say a little bit more about this brand that you created?
Absolutely. So essentially, I think it was either 2019 or 2020 where I had created my first LLC, which was just so hold on, I'm trying to remember because it was Juso Media is what I called it, but basically it's just Sophie Media because I just always say that's like just Sophie is my brand.
Mhm.
And so basically I created it to start making t-shirts and merch and things. So I was like, oh, this is a cool way to make some money, but also be inspiring people at the same time. So that's kind of what it was born out of. And then eventually years later, I closed that because I had moved again. I'm always moving. But anyway,
That means you're not afraid of
it,
something. It helps.
absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, so then eventually I created Just So Splendid Creations as kind of like this umbrella of all the different things that I do. So like whether I'm like doing stuff for my acting or creating shirts, selling shirts to people, selling the book under that. But yeah, so it's just like kind of like just this creative powerhouse that I kind of want to create. But yeah, so that's essentially what it is. Right now the website is down. I'm like kind of taking a moment to figure things out because I feel like I have this vision in my head that I have not been able to achieve just yet. But I feel like once I get more organized, I'll be able to really have it be more stable. And so for people to kind of, so people can understand the brand more and just really gravitate more towards it. So, but yeah, so that's kind of what it is, like a creative, inspirational brand.
Okay, awesome. And just because you're so talented, you have a background in writing, communications. How does all of this help with, I'll say, storytelling online? Because you kind of
Mhm.
shared how you've used it in other ways, but with storytelling online, you can even share more about um, I guess I don't want to call it a skit, but the mini short film that you shared with us.
Oh, yes.
If you want to talk about that more, like how do you just use all your talents to like see other people and use that as a space of expression to authentically be you?
Yeah, I think that being able to do so many different things helps me to relate to so many different people, which is why I find that like maybe I'll post one video about like natural hair since I'm wearing my hair out right now. So I'm like, maybe I'll post something about natural hair or post about my love for music or 70s music or acting. And there's people from so many different walks of life talking to me because it's like I do so many things so I can reach so many different people. And so I feel like that's what I've kind of used my digital creative space for, especially YouTube. Where, like I said, there was one point where most of my content was like Haitian based, and I was like, I was basically being inspired by like certain American culture things. Like, for example, there's this game that I think it was Elle Magazine was doing, and I kind of created my own version of it, but like with Haitian songs where you have to think of a song, you say a word and you think of a song. So
Mhm.
essentially, like I've had moments where it's like I base things just focused on Haitian culture, or just music and things of that nature. So being able to kind of tap into all those things and passions allows me to reach so many more people, and to make the people like me who are multi hyphenates feel comfortable because it's like you don't have to just do that one thing. Like, why? Who said that? Like, is there a rule that you can't be different, be more than just that? It's like, when you look at most of the people who are very successful, they do so many things. They don't just do one thing. But yeah. And so I guess out of that was born that short film that I created, which is called Drowning, where I got to speak about mental health, which is something that's super important to me. I actually went to school for psychology, and originally I thought I was going to be a therapist. I had this whole thing. I was going to be a clinical therapist. Okay, I was going to be a doctor. I'm gonna help people with their problems. But then I realized, ooh,
Very Haitian of you.
exactly, variation of me, right? But yeah, so I thought, oh yeah, I'm going to be this clinical therapist and all these different things. And it's just like, no, actually, that's not what I wanted to really do. I want to help people, but I want to help them in a different way. Like, I don't want to just be in a stuffy office taking notes and listening to their problems. No shade to them, no shade to my therapist.
We
But
need
like,
them. Not to say we need them.
yeah, but it's like, but for me, I need to be out and about. I need to be touching people in a different way. And if I can do that through my acting, maybe taking roles that speak about mental health and like really dive into it, things that people don't want to talk about, they're afraid to express. Like, I would love to be able to be in that space. So earlier this year, well, back in September, I created this short film basically in one day and just showed
Very
like show kind of like thank you the dark side of high functioning depression and how a lot of times we just kind of glaze over it because it's like, I'm working hard, I'm doing my thing, I'm creating online, I'm working and paying my rent on time, all the stuff. But it's like people don't really see what's going on behind that, especially as a Black woman. It's just like a lot of times we feel like we just have to keep going and going and going, whether you have kids or not. Like, you're helping this person, you're doing that, and you're not putting yourself first. So it's like a lot of times we end up just kind of taking on this burden of the world and not really tending to our mental health. And I've found that I've done that quite a bit. And so creating that film was my way of just kind of saying, hey, yeah, I'm smiling, but it's not always a real smile. So that was kind of my expression of that. So yeah. But yeah, so the
thank you.
film is on YouTube if y'all want to see. Shameless
Yeah,
plug.
plug it in, plug it in. Yes, plug it in.
But yeah, so
So we've talked a lot about your creativity. We've talked about the different avenues that you've used to express your creativity, which is amazing. And just honing in on like one size doesn't fit all when it comes to creativity or your life purpose. What would you say to a creative or just anyone? Say if there's a younger version of us that's tapping into this interview that we're doing that just has so many talents, what would you tell this person who is feeling overwhelmed, not knowing where to start? What's one piece of advice would you give them to embrace all sides of their creativity, but also, to me, most importantly, all sides of themselves?
Ooh, girl.
That was deep. Okay, we could.
So no, this is great. It's just that I could tackle this question from so many different angles. But I just want to keep it simple because I would go on for days. But I think what I would tell my younger self, and more specifically, maybe like 8-year old me or 11-year-old me, because I feel like those are two pivotal numbers for me as a kid. Because 8 years old me was the one writing the first song, creating her little fake soap operas on her journal. But then 11-year-old me started to tap into poetry, which I realized I have not spoken this whole time about that. But I was kind of having a rough time in middle school a little bit. I wasn't necessarily like picked on, but I didn't really fit in all the way all the time, but it was interesting. So I remember like writing, I started to write poetry because of that pain. And that helped me to kind of be able to express myself a little bit more. So I guess I would tell 11 and 8-year-old me, like, just be who you are, regardless. Like, don't hold on to what other people are saying about you or what you think people might say about you. Like, literally just fully be yourself, because by fully embracing and being yourself from a young age, it's going to take you on a trajectory that you can't even begin to imagine. So that's what I would tell my younger self. It's like, girl, literally, I don't want to cuss on your podcast, but but
You're
literally,
good.
like, but literally, girl, fuck them people. Okay, like literally, that's what finally got me to just kind of embrace different sides of me more. It's just realize, well, as a kid, obviously, I wasn't paying my own bills, but now that I am, I'm just like, they are not paying your bills. So I guess I would tell my younger self, like, they are not going to pay your bills for the rest of your life. Okay, fuck them people. Do what you want to do. Be who you are, and just express yourself, and just keep it pushing, keep it moving.
That's amazing. And I would also even go as far to say that's some advice that you could use today, especially in a world that is just so cluttered and clouded with just negativity and judgment. And it feels like you're just always on, every time you open it,
Yeah.
it's like, what are people doing to be viral? What are people? And it's like when you're going the right way, it's going
Mhm.
to take a little bit longer.
Yep.
And so, especially with the instant gratification that comes from social media, because you can't tell
Mhm.
you're going to go viral. You're just posting
Exactly.
your heart, you're just expressing your creativity. So, I do think that's some great advice for younger self and today.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, that is it. But
Oh my
before
gosh,
we
that's
close,
it. This is so much fun.
and that's what I like. So,
Yay.
before we close, I do want you to plug in yourself.
Mhm.
Um, any projects, any things that we should be looking forward to, share your social media, all of the things. This is your time to plug yourself in.
Okay, sure. So unfortunately, I don't have anything like new coming up at the moment. I have some ideas that I'm kind of like thinking about for TikTok, some skits, and just kind of like fun things with my creativity. I will say one thing I've been doing lately is posting monologue Mondays, which is just me creating my own monologue and just sharing it, just to kind of tap into my acting more and like build that skill. Um, and so that's one thing I guess like which I do need to record this weekend. But yeah, so that's probably I would say that's probably one thing to look forward to. And you guys can follow me on Instagram at Just Sophie, which is JUSTSOPHONIE. That's my full name. And yeah, so you can follow me there. And then TikTok, what's my name on there? I'm always changing my name on TikTok.
Lord,
It's Soph Creates. So SOPH Creates. And so that's another place. And then I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, and then my YouTube is also Just Sophie, which I do plan on beginning to start making more content again, hopefully for 2026. I've just kind of been, I'm like constantly on a hiatus, and I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I just need to find a new way to really do my content that I can just continue, keep it really consistent. So,
talk about that after this. But
oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah.
okay, good. So still go and support, go watch old content, new content.
Yes.
Just get ready for 2026 because Sophie's going to have great things to share.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you for taking the time out to be here, to be vulnerable, to share more about your journey and
Thank
share
you. Yeah.
your expertise and your overall greatness. So thank you for that.
Thank you.